So today we shall discuss about the mycotoxins, are also called as the fungal toxins. See, mycotoxins, they are secondary metabolites of the fungus. So what do you mean by secondary metabolite? So these mycotoxins, they are not essential for their normal growth or their development. So they are apart from what is being required for their growth and development. So that's why they are secondary metabolites of fungus. So it is of no help to the fungus, but if it is ingested by other animals, it will lead to the toxicity in other animals. So when these mycotoxins are produced, so whenever there is favorable conditions, so whenever there is favorable condition like the correct temperature, favorable moisture and the aeration, so during that time the fungus will produce the mycotoxins. And this mycotoxin, it will affect the foodstuff and the feed, so which in turn indirectly consumed by animals, they will suffer from the toxicity. And the toxicity caused by this mycotoxin, we call that condition as mycotoxicosis. So some of the features of mycotoxins are they are non-transmissible. So it is not contagious. So if an animal suffered from mycotoxicosis, so it will not communicate that mycotoxicity to the other animal. It is non-transmissible unless it will eat the same affected feed. So it is non-transmissible. And it is seasonal. I told you favorable condition, it will elaborate the production of mycotoxin from the fungi. And the feed favorism, see certain feed, they will attract the production of mycotoxin from the fungus. For example, the groundnut, see groundnut or the maize corns, so they will attract the production of mycotoxin from the fungus. So feed favorism will be there. And secondary infections, there will be high intensity of secondary infection if an animal suffers from mycotoxicosis. It is mainly due to the immunosuppression that is caused by the mycotoxicosis. So the non-transmissible feature, the seasonal favorism or feed favorism, and increased intensity of secondary infection, there are some of the features of the mycotoxicosis. And depending upon the organ damage, mycotoxins, they are classified into hepatotoxic mycotoxin, nephrotoxic mycotoxin, estrogenic, cytotoxic, neurotoxic, and the miscellaneous. So in this video, we will discuss about the hepatotoxic mycotoxin. That too, we will restrict on the aflatoxin. So it's an important topic. So we will restrict on the aflatoxin. So in the next video, we will cover rubrotoxins, pyridesmin, and sterigmatocystin. Okay, so these are the examples: hepatotoxic mycotoxin, aflatoxin, rubrotoxin, pyridesmin, sterigmatocystin. Nephrotoxic, acrotoxin, citrinin. Estrogenic mycotoxin, zearalenone, are also called as F2 toxin. Cytotoxic mycotoxin, trichothecins. So trichothecins are T2 toxin, DIN toxin, and DON toxin. Neurotoxic, tremogens, so which are all tremogens: penitrem, paspalitrem, and roquefortin are the tremogens. Miscellaneous, it includes ergot and fescue. Ergot is also an important mycotoxin similar to the aflatoxin. So aflatoxin and ergot toxins are important mycotoxin that affects the animals. So today, under hepatotoxic mycotoxin, we will discuss about the aflatoxin. See, aflatoxin, so it is a type of mycotoxin that is elaborated from the fungus Aspergillus flavus and Aspergillus parasiticus. So going to the history of this aflatoxin, see aflatoxin, it was first discovered during 1960 in England, where they have reported more than 10,000 death of turkeys and the ducks, and they could not find out any causative factor for this condition, and they finally named that condition as turkey X disease. Why X? So it is like a Mr. X. It is like a some ordinate movies. See, have you heard ordinate movies? So ordinate movies are those movies, the murder mystery movies, so where the murderer will be revealed at the end of the movie. So similar to this, so they could not find the causative factor for this turkey X disease, so they named it as turkey X disease. So finally, when they went on going in deep about the causative factor for this condition, say they found out the culprit being this fungus named Aspergillus flavus, which is elaborating the aflatoxin, and this aflatoxin is the culprit that is causing the death of these turkeys. So what has happened in turkey X disease? So the England, so they imported the peanut meal from the Brazil. So this peanut meal or groundnut meal, it was heavily infected with this Aspergillus flavus fungus, and this fungus, they elaborated this aflatoxin and inflicted the turkey X disease. So at that time, so it's a novel toxicity condition. No one knows about this fungal toxicity in case of animals. So it was a first case that was reported where the animal death due to such a huge consumption of the meal infested with the fungal toxins. So that was the brief history regarding the discovery of aflatoxin. So discovered while reporting this turkey X disease in England during 1960. And regarding the classification of aflatoxin, we get 4 important types of aflatoxins. So the 4 important types are B1, B2, G1 and G2. So name is referred to the color that it will exhibit when it is shown under, or when it is shown under the ultraviolet light. So under ultraviolet light, if it sees as blue color, so it is termed as B1 and B2. So if it is green, then G1 and G2. So depending upon the color when you observe it under ultraviolet light. So among these different types of aflatoxin, the aflatoxin B type 1 is the most toxic aflatoxic one, that is inflicting the mycotoxicosis. So remember this. Then properties of aflatoxin. So the properties of aflatoxins are, they are lipid soluble. So since it is lipid soluble, very commonly we extract aflatoxin by using organic solvent. So commonly we use methanol for the extraction of aflatoxin. Methanolic extraction, we go for methanolic extraction to extract the aflatoxin. The reason being it is lipid soluble. It is heat resistant and it is unstable whenever it is exposed to the ultraviolet light. So I told you under favorable condition, fungus will elaborate the aflatoxin. So similarly, so under aerobic condition, so whenever the moisture is more than 15% and the temperature ranges from 25 to 32 degrees centigrade, so during this favorable condition, the fungus will elaborate the aflatoxin. And the order of toxicity. So this different aflatoxin, what is the order of toxicity? So the order of toxicity is, I told you B1 is most toxic. So B1 more toxic than G1, more toxic than B2, more toxic than G2. So this is also important. Then what are the feedstuffs that are mainly infected with this aflatoxin? So the major feedstuffs are the peanut or groundnut, soybean, cottonseed meal, cake or maize corn, silage, barley, oats, rice, grains and cereal products. So among these, maize corns and peanut or groundnut, they are heavily infected, this fungus are heavily infected with this aflatoxin. So we should bear it in mind. See, majority of aflatoxicosis, what we report in the poultry industry, it is mainly due to ingestion of aflatoxin infected maize corns or the peanuts. Majority of aflatoxin is associated with this feedstuff, or else to add cottonseed meal also, it will get affected mainly with this aflatoxins. And aflatoxins, they will stay even after the mold died for years. See, after the fungus death also, you can see, or you can after the death of the fungus also, the aflatoxins will stay longer in the feedstuffs. See, for example, if you irradiate the feedstuff under ultraviolet light, so what will happen? There will be death of the fungus, but the toxins that are elaborated by the fungus, the aflatoxins, it will stay longer and it is going to produce the aflatoxicity. Right? And these aflatoxins, they are carcinogenic, they are mutagenic, they are teratogenic, and they are immunosuppressive. So these are some of the features of aflatoxins. And another thing is, see, aflatoxin B1 and B2, the type B1 and B2, So in the body, they will get converted into M1 and M2, and these are the aflatoxin that are excreted through the milk. And this M1 and M2, they are associated with production of cancer. They are carcinogenic. So it is the aflatoxin type that is excreted through the milk. So it is either M1 or the M2, which is the product of B1 and B2. So this is about some of the features of aflatoxins. So important under this are the order of toxicity. B1 is most toxic, then the metabolite of B1, B toxin, M1 and M2, and the type of feedstuff that it's going to affect. Then there are some of the factors which affect the aflatoxicity. The first one is species susceptibility. So which are the species which are more susceptible for aflatoxicosis? Say ducklings, they are highly susceptible, followed by rabbit, then turkey and chicken, then rat, then cat, pig, guinea pigs, and the cattle and sheep. See, cattle and sheep, the aflatoxicosis in cattle and sheep, we also get cases regarding aflatoxicity in cattle and sheep, say, but a chronic type of aflatoxicosis. So if it feeds over a period of weeks or month, so aflatoxicosis is bound to affect the cattle and sheep also, but the susceptibility wise, so this is the pattern. The same thing here, cattle and sheep, they are relatively resistant, but if it is fed for longer period, so it's bound to affect with this aflatoxicosis. And the second factor, the age, young animals are more susceptible. Nutrition wise, so deficiency of vitamin C, protein and selenium, it will increases the chances of aflatoxicosis. And in the sex, males are more susceptible than female except during pregnancy. So these are some of the factors which affects the aflatoxicity. Next is toxicokinetics. See, toxicokinetics, so the major route of entry, it is through the oral route. So from oral route, it will go into the rumen. So if it is ruminant, it will go into the rumen. So in the rumen, aflatoxin undergo conjugation. So the conjugated aflatoxin, it will reach the abomasum. So in the abomasum, so there will be deconjugation. So again, the aflatoxins will be freed. So this is the toxicokinetic in case of ruminant. If aflatoxin enter a monogastric animal or in the birds, so it will reach the GIT or the gizzard, and there you will get the free aflatoxin. No conjugation and deconjugation in the monogastric animal. The conjugation, deconjugation, it occurs in ruminants only. Now the free aflatoxins are there, and this free aflatoxin from the GIT, it will enter the systemic circulation. So from the systemic circulation, it will mainly prefer the liver. So it will go into the liver. So in the liver, the aflatoxins, they are metabolized mainly by the cytochrome P450 group of enzyme, and the main cytochrome P450 type of enzyme, so it is the isoform involved in the metabolism of aflatoxin is the CYP3A4. CYP3A4 is the type of CYP450 enzyme that is involved in the conversion of aflatoxin in the liver. So which are the metabolites that are produced by the aflatoxins? So the major metabolites are, so there are numerous metabolites produced by the aflatoxin, but the important ones are aflatoxicol, aflatoxicol type P1, aflatoxicol Q, aflatoxin P1, aflatoxin Q1, and aflatoxin M1, and the important one being aflatoxin 8,9 epoxide, aflatoxin B1 8,9 epoxide. So these are the metabolites of aflatoxin. So as far as aflatoxicol P1 and Q1 are considered, they are less significant and they are less toxic. Comparatively, they are less toxic. Aflatoxin M1, I told you, so this M1, they will get excreted in the milk, and they are also having carcinogenic potential. But the important metabolite of aflatoxin which inflicts this aflatoxicosis is aflatoxin B1 8,9 epoxide. So this is important metabolite of aflatoxin which is producing the, or which is the culprit that produces the toxicity. Then later on, after producing the toxic effect or after producing its usual effect, so it will undergo conjugation, either glutathione conjugation, glucuronidation, or amino acid conjugation. Then they will be excreted through bile and the urine. So that is about the toxicokinetics of aflatoxin. And what is the mechanism of action of aflatoxin? So the main mechanism of action of aflatoxin is it mainly binds to the DNA and leads to hepatocellular damage and causes bile duct proliferation, bile stasis, and liver fibrosis. That is a major thing. So in detail, what these aflatoxins will do. I told you the major metabolite which inflicts the aflatoxicosis is aflatoxin B1 8,9 epoxide. So what this epoxide will do, it will bind with the guanine residue in the DNA. So guanosine residue, it is a nucleotide that is present in the DNA. See, once this epoxide, it binds with the guanine residue, it causes formation of adducted guanine. Adducted guanine is, it will change the structure of the guanine. So what this epoxide will do, it will change the structure of the guanine itself. So as a result, there will be mismatching. See what will happen. See, for synthesis of protein, DNA has to get DNA, the information from DNA, it has to be transferred into the mRNA. Then mRNA, the reading of mRNA, there will be protein synthesis, right? So there should be transcription, then there should be translation. So whatever the information that is there in the DNA, it should be relayed on to the mRNA. Then the same thing will be converted into the protein, right? See what will happen whenever there is formation of adducted guanine or change in the structure of the guanine, there will be mismatching. See, whenever there is production of mRNA from DNA, so whatever the nucleotides present in the DNA, the same complementary thing will come into the mRNA, right? And this mRNA nucleotides, this codon, so from codon, the respective codon will lead to the production of the respective protein. So any change in the codon pattern, it will lead to the different protein, right? The synthesis of a different protein and not an intended one. So the same thing is happening here. So due to the change in the structure of the guanine, there will be mismatching between the nucleotide that is present in the DNA and the nucleotide that is forming in the mRNA. See, for example, the nucleotide, the codon that are present in the DNA, for example, it is AGCT. So these are nucleotides present in the DNA. So from this DNA, during transcription, the complementary for this nucleotides, it should be there in the mRNA, right? So normally what will happen? So complementary to the A, so what is complementary to the A? In mRNA it will be uracil, not thymine, right? So for G, it will be cytosine. So for C, it will be G, and for T, it will be A. So this will be the complementary codon in the mRNA during transcription. See what will happen in aflatoxicosis. So if the codon in the DNA, so in aflatoxicosis, A, there will be U. So in G, so against the G, the complementary codon will be A. Then for C, it will be G and A. See here, the usual pairing of G, it should happen with the C, right? So when the epoxide leads to the formation of adducted guanine, guanine is giving the complementary codon adenosine. So this is what happening. Instead of UCGA, the codon that is formed is UAGA. See, for example, the codon UCG is coding for a protein A, but UAG, it will code for protein B. The protein that is synthesizing, the synthesis of protein, it is entirely different. So instead of producing A protein, the body is producing the B protein that may not be essential for our body. So the same thing is happening here. So there is a mismatching. Instead of G combining with the C, G is combining with the A. So there will be nucleotide mispairing. There will be incorrect codon. So there will be production of incorrect amino acid, or there will be defective protein synthesis, or there will be no protein synthesis itself. That is a major mechanism of action of aflatoxin epoxide. Aflatoxin epoxide, it is binding with the guanosine residue in the DNA and forms adducted guanine. So when there is adducted guanine or change in the structure of the guanine, instead of forming the complementary C in the mRNA, it is forming complementary A in the mRNA. So that is leading to the defective synthesis of protein. See what will happen once there is defective protein synthesis or no protein synthesis. See effects of defective protein synthesis. See what will happen because of defective protein synthesis, there will be defective fat metabolism. So as a result, there will be hepatic steatosis. The fat will get accumulated in the liver, and there will be loss of structural proteins which make blood vessel more vulnerable. So there will be increased capillary permeability. So there will be no strengthening of the wall of blood vessel. As a result, there will be increased permeability, capillary permeability. As a result, there will be hemorrhage. And there will be decreased clotting factor, since the major organ that is getting damaged due to aflatoxicosis is the liver. So once liver is damaged, the clotting factors which are mainly produced in the liver, it will be hampered. The synthesis of clotting factors will be hampered. So there will be decreased production of clotting factor. So as a result, there will be hemorrhage. So what is the classical clinical sign we see in aflatoxicosis is, one of the clinical sign is the hemorrhage, and this hemorrhage is mainly due to decreased production of clotting factors and also due to the increased permeability in the capillaries. And the fourth effect of defective protein synthesis is there will be immunosuppression. So due to immunosuppression, there will be increased chances of secondary infection. See, any animal suffering from aflatoxicosis, they are bound to suffer from secondary infections. So that is a classical feature of aflatoxicosis affecting any animals. So why immunosuppression? See, the number of T cells that is produced is less, decreased macrophages, decreased antibody production due to the defective protein synthesis. See, aflatoxin epoxide, it forms adducted guanine, there will be mismatching. So mismatching lead to defective protein synthesis. So this defect, as a result of defective protein synthesis, these are the ill effects. The first one is defective fat metabolism. Due to that, there will be hepatic steatosis, loss of structural protein, which will lead to increased permeability of the capillaries, decreased clotting factor, it will produce hemorrhage, immunosuppression, it will lead to the chances of secondary infection. Then there will be icterus, then endocrine imbalance, and it produces mutagenic and carcinogenic effect. And this mutagenic carcinogenic effect, it is seen when this epoxide, it alkylates the DNA. Right? So because of this mechanism of action, so what are the clinical signs that we will see under aflatoxicosis? See, clinical signs, they are classified according to the nature of aflatoxicosis. See, we see acute aflatoxicosis, subacute form, and chronic form. So in each form, the clinical signs will be different. Now first we shall see the acute aflatoxicosis. In acute aflatoxicosis, what will be the clinical sign? See, there will be sudden death, or if it survives, so it will, the clinical signs run for short course and there will be death of the animal. So normally if it survives, there will be weakness, anorexia, vomition, depression, dyspnea, coughing, anemia, epistaxis, bloody feces, icterus, convulsions, and the death. So rarely this acute form of aflatoxicity occurs. So in birds, if it suffer from acute cases, there will be anorexia, ruffled feathers, ataxia, circling, opisthotonus, ecchymosis, edema, and the death of the birds. Then subacute form. So if it is subacute form, we will see icterus, the signs related to the icterus, hematomas, hemorrhagic enteritis, similar to warfarin-like thing. Then moving in circle, ear twitching, tooth grinding, photosensitization like lesion, then ataxia. And the third one is chronic aflatoxicosis. So it is the most common form of aflatoxicosis. See, generally aflatoxicosis, it occurs whenever the animals ingest the aflatoxin infected feedstuff or feed for longer period of time. So because of that reason, the chronic form of aflatoxicosis is very common in case of animals and also in case of birds. See, generally poultry industry suffer a lot from aflatoxicosis due to the presence of this maize corns and groundnut in their ration, in the poultry ration. The poultry, they suffer more from this aflatoxicosis. So remember, so among the different nature of aflatoxicosis, the chronic form of aflatoxicosis is very common. So it is most common, and low level of exposure of aflatoxin for weeks or months, it will lead to a chronic form of aflatoxicosis. So what are the clinical signs? So you might have heard also. So in the poultry industry, they used to tell, see, my chicken is not growing, my poultry is not growing. So it is having decreased food conversion ratio. It will be having gradual decrease in the productivity. So there will be decreased weight gain. So these are very important features in chronic aflatoxicosis. So some of the animals, they might have rough air coat, they are anemic, enlarged abdomen. So enlarged abdomen, ascites, due to ascites, due to damage to the liver, there is an ascites. Then icterus, again damage to the liver, then depression, and sometimes there will be abortion also. So these are some of the features of chronic aflatoxicosis. And in chronic one, especially in poultry, so it will interfere with the absorption of lipid. So since it interferes with the absorption of the lipid, sometimes you don't see yolk in case of egg. So in the egg, yolkless eggs will be seen, or sometimes egg size will be reduced, or there will be poor quality egg without albumin. So like that, so poor quality egg, malformed eggs are a common feature in case of aflatoxicosis. So always bear it in mind. Decreased FCR, decreased food conversion ratio, decreased weight gain, then decreased productivity, malformed eggs or poor quality eggs, any change in the egg quality. So there are some of the features associated with chronic aflatoxicosis. Decreased FCR, decreased productivity, decreased weight gain, and increased incidence of secondary infections. See, coupled with all these features, so it will be susceptible more for coccidiosis. The poultry will suffer from coccidiosis, salmonellosis, pasteurellosis due to this aflatoxicosis. So due to this aflatoxicosis, the poultry will suffer from this secondary infection. So overall, so what these aflatoxins will do, it will cause liver damage and blood coagulation defect. So as far as field cases are concerned, see what will happen in poultry is, see poultry, they will suffer from the decreased weight gain, the first thing, and there will be decreased FCR, decreased production, decreased productivity will be there, and malformed eggs, poor quality eggs is one of the important clinical sign. Then incidence of secondary infections. So very commonly the poultry will be affected with the secondary infection. So these are some of the important clinical signs. Apart from that, the one important clinical sign in aflatoxicosis is, so between the toes, the oozing of blood will be there in case of aflatoxicosis. It is also one of the common finding in aflatoxicosis that affects the poultry. So you bear this clinical sign in your mind. So these are an important clinical signs what you see in case of the poultry. Then post-mortem findings. See, post-mortem finding, there will be widespread hemorrhage. So if you cut open, so there will be widespread hemorrhage and there will be icterus. Then gastroenteritis will be there, ascites will be there, enlarged and necrosed liver. So enlarged and necrosed liver will be there. Then hepatic tumors. If it is a chronic one, the hepatic tumors also you can see. Then microscopic finding, hepatic steatosis. So it is abnormal fat accumulation due to defective protein synthesis. There will be hepatic steatosis. Fatty liver will be there. Centrilobular necrosis will be there. Hemorrhage in the liver. Bile duct fibrosis will be there. In the GIT mucosa, glandular atrophy plus inflammation. And very common PM findings in the field condition. See, whenever you cut open the poultry, the bird, so there will be fatty deposition in the peritoneum. So fatty liver condition will be there. The yellow color liver will be there. Then blood oozing out between the toes, and misshapen eggs, poor quality eggs are some of the post-mortem findings in case of the poultry or the birds. Then diagnosis through history, clinical sign, and the post-mortem findings through microscopic picture. And you can detect the aflatoxin M type 1 in case of milk, and you can also go for aflatoxin detection in case of liver and kidney. Check for prothrombin time, since the coagulation will be decreased, so prothrombin time you can check for prothrombin time. Then liver damage marker, since it affect the liver the most, so bile duct proliferation lead to hyperbilirubinemia. Then testing of suspected feed sample. So if you suspect any particular feed sample, then you test this feed sample for the presence of aflatoxins. See, nowadays you can send the feed sample, you can send the liver, kidney for the detection of the aflatoxin. So numerous labs are associated with the detection of this aflatoxin. You can easily send the suspected feed sample or the suspected organ sample. So many of the agricultural laboratories, they are equipped for the detection of aflatoxin. So in our university, many research are going about the detection of this aflatoxin. You can easily extract the aflatoxin and you can detect the qualitatively, you can detect quantitatively also, you can detect the amount of aflatoxin. So most of the researchers are going, the majority of researchers are in the poultry industry, they are aiming at this aflatoxicosis. So many researchers are going about the detection of aflatoxin also. Then treatment and management. So withdraw the suspected feed. So you don't give the suspected feed to the animals if you suspect for the aflatoxicosis. Then apart from that, you can give hydrated sodium, calcium, aluminosilicate as the feed additive. The rationale being it will absorb the aflatoxin and decrease the absorption of aflatoxin from the GIT. So you can supplement vitamin E and selenium. So by supplementing vitamin E and selenium, it will decrease the chance of aflatoxicosis. Then also you can treat the suspected feed and grain. So you can treat it with anhydrous ammonia or ozone, chlorine, hydrogen peroxide treatment will also lead to decreased aflatoxin elaboration. Then you have to treat secondary infection and also you have to give hepatoprotectants. So these are some of the treatment and management practices for aflatoxicosis. So as I told you, aflatoxicosis mainly inflicts the poultry industry. So that we should bear it in mind. So what will be the major source for this aflatoxin? The feed stuff. So check for feed stuff. So you might find the fungal growth on the feed, the suspected feed. So check the feed once and concentrate on the clinical signs. I told you in the poultry, the classical clinical sign will be decrease in its productivity, decrease in the weight gain, misshapen eggs or poor quality eggs, and there will be hemorrhage between the toes. So continuous hemorrhage, the oozing of blood, continuous oozing of blood between the toes of the birds. So there are some of the important things we should note down about the aflatoxicosis. Then assignment questions. So assignment questions about aflatoxicosis. Arrange the toxicity potential of aflatoxin B1, B2, G1 and G2 in descending order of its potential. Then dash and dash are highly susceptible for aflatoxicosis. Dash and dash species are highly susceptible for aflatoxicosis. Aflatoxins, they are mainly elaborated by dash type of fungi. And dash is the important metabolite of aflatoxin which causes formation of adducted guanine residue. Then write in very brief about extraction of aflatoxin. See what is the procedure involved in the extraction of aflatoxin. You can write it in very brief. So in 4 to 5 steps, try to write how they extract the aflatoxin from feed sample or from the organs. Dash type of aflatoxin is excreted in the milk, and dash is the most potent type of aflatoxin. So thank you. In the next class, we will take up the other hepatotoxic mycotoxin. Thank you.